KENTA battles Tomorhiro Ishii for the NEVER Openweight Championship. Zack Sabre Jr. defends the Revolution Pro British Heavyweight Championship against Hiroshi Tanahashi. And in the main event, Kazuchika Okada defends the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against the King, Minoru Suzuki. August 31st, 2019, a very, very busy day in professional wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling heads to the United Kingdom. This is New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest. Alright guys, welcome once again to the JtoZ TV Pro Wrestling Control Center. This is another episode of JtoZ TV Pro Wrestling Breakdown. I'm your host, JtoZ TV Dad, aka Derek, and today we're taking a look at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Royal Quest. New Japan Pro Wrestling headed to London, England on August 31st, 2019. That was a very, very busy day for pro wrestling. You had NXT presenting NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff on that very same day, and also All Elite Wrestling produced All Elite Wrestling All In on that very same day as well. It was a huge day in the history of wrestling. New Japan Pro Wrestling with Royal Quest. We're going to get right to it, guys. Let's check out this show. Kicking things right off, we get a terrific opening video package that does a great job of catching you up on all of the storyline bullet points for the night. You've got a really, really good voiceover, too, to kind of guide you along in the opening video package. This is great stuff, guys. Especially if you haven't been following the product. They're gonna cover the top handful of matches for you. The big ones, the top 3 matches, are gonna get some storyline coverage here. Good start, and then from there we are live in London, England, and we are live from the Copper Box, a bit of the Copper Box, if you will. We're in London, England. The venue is really awesome. Great venue. It kind of reminded me of the USSR, the Soviet Union Zangief stage from Street Fighter 2, if you guys remember that. There's this cool little, they sold this thing out. There's 8,000 people packed into the Copper Box. The venue's got this really cool, it's a boxing venue, I guess, that is really easy to configure for wrestling, so I'm really glad that they ran it. But there's this cool, on the second tier of the venue, there's like a concourse or a walkway, and throughout the night, there's shots in the ring of the action pointing up, and you can see people standing along the railings and stuff on these walkways up in the air. It's kind of cool to check out. It's a really cool visual thing. Really cool building. I hope that they run some more wrestling shows out of there. Getting right into the show, there's production problems plaguing things right away. There's no commentary in our opening match. It doesn't matter. The crowd is pumped up. I'm pumped up. I love New Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's get into our opening match. We've got Roppongi 3K. That's Sho, Yo, and Rocky Romero, and they're taking on the trio of Ryusuke Taguchi, Shota Umino, and Ren Narita, and this is going to be our opening contest. Right out of the bat, guys, Shota Umino looks great very early on. We get a really loud "Let's Go Shota" chant. Jon Moxley has really done a lot with Shota since he's worked with him basically in New Japan. He's really done an awesome job of getting him over, giving him a heck of a rub. The crowd, early on, they eat up Taguchi's comedic antics here. Lots of comedy spots early on. Taguchi's throwing the Naomi rear window around, if you will. And, of course, you got Rocky Romero in there, so he's going to do his comedic thing, and he's pretty over with the crowd as well. It's fun stuff to open the show up. There's a little spot I really enjoy where Sho and Yo hit it's like a 3D. It's a slapjack, basically, but it's into a flatliner. Really innovative tag team work. That should be a finish, basically. everything breaks down, and you got Sho and Ren Narita that for the fourth time, Sho and Ren Narita end up in the ring together as all the smoke clears. Narita survives a deadlift German suplex for a near fall. He's not going to survive much longer because Sho's going to scoop him up and he's going to plant him with the Power Breaker. Now that's a pretty cool name. It's basically going to be a last ride into an elevated lung blower or Project Champa variation basically. Super cool finish. That's going to do it, guys. 1, 2, 3. Solid opener here. Sho, Yo, and Rocky Romero pick up the victory. Shota Umino basically came out looking like a star in this one, the star of the match. He would, as the good old JR would say, sassafras. Jim Ross would say Shota Umino maximized his minutes when he was in there, guys. Whenever he was in the ring, he was full of fire. The way that he moved, the guy's going to be a big star, I think, once he gets out of the young lion phase. He seems a lot further along than a lot of the other young lions. I can't wait to see some more of Shota in the future. Yeah, came out looking like a star. Good opener. We're going to go 2 3/4 of a star on that one, guys. Keeping things moving on, we're going to go right into our next match. It's Tag Team Warfare, guys. Kota Ibushi and Juice Robinson are going to team up to take on the team of Yujiro Takahashi and Hikuleo. This is going to be a good one, guys. And immediately, right out of the box, why don't more big guys do the... Hikuleo does it here where he steps over the top rope as he enters the ring. And that used to be kind of a thing that a lot of big guys did, from Sid Vicious to Kevin Nash to Big Show. And off the top of my head, I can't recall a lot of people using that recently. So Hikuleo enters that way, and that's a gimmick I'd kind of like to see more big guys bust out. Kota Ibushi is one of my top favorite performers in the entire world today. I love Kota. I'd put Kota up there with Kazuchika Okada and Kenny Omega as the 3 greatest wrestlers in the world today. That's just one guy's opinion. Alright, guys. Juice Robinson, I also think, is the best, just old school, pure babyface in the business today. Juice Robinson is a heck of a performer, guys. And Juice and Kota, they get a massive, big pop for their entrance together. And, guys, Juice is absolutely sassy here tonight, guys. He's full of charisma, full of spunk. He's yelling stuff out off of all of his offense. He's squealing, and the fans are eating it up. And it actually makes the match work a little bit more because immediately when Juice gets in there and he's clearing house, he's being entertaining as all heck. And basically it allows him to connect with the audience a little bit deeper. So then when Yujiro Takahashi goes behind the ref's back to get some cheap heat on Juice, it really works because the crowd is like, whoa, like this guy's entertaining us. We like this guy. He's fired up. This other guy's cheating to beat up the guy that we like. That's entertaining us. That's funny. Boo, we hate you, Takahashi. That's basically what this crowd does. They're eating it up, and this is a great crowd. This is a great pro wrestling crowd, guys. There's a really awesome spot in this match that kind of flipped the tag formula on its head, and I love when they take, basically like what a movie does. A good movie will take the conventions that you're used to, the stereotypes that you're used to, and they'll use it against you to flip it. They'll use your own expectations of something to flip it and kind of swerve you, bro, as Vince Russo might say. And there's a spot here where Juice takes an extended beating. He becomes your face in peril. You're Ricky Morton during this match. He eventually gets his hot tag to Kota Ibushi. In comes the Golden Star. He's ready to clean house. The only problem is Takahashi had made a tag to Hikuleo. So when Ibushi hits the ring, a house of fire, ready to clean house and take everybody out, he gets hit with a snap power slam from Hikuleo, and that gets a near fall, guys. I really like that little spot. Creative stuff. Smoke settles down again. Ibushi gets the clean pin over Hikuleo. with the Kamigoye, guys. Kota is just absolutely incredible, guys. Yeah. Give me some more Kota and Juice together. I really like this tag team, especially with Kenny being gone now. Kota and Juice. I'd like to see them get a run with the IWGP tag team titles. That would be pretty cool. Good, solid tag team match. Simple, fun, and I really dug that little creative tag team's power, or that big creative power slam hot tag spot. Really enjoyed it. We're gonna go 3 stars. Great tag match, guys. And hey, we're gonna keep things rolling right along, guys. We're gonna have a little bit of junior action now. You've got Will Ospreay and Robbie Eagles teaming up to take on the Bullet Club representatives of El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori, the Bone Soldier. Guys, there are high spots galore to start this match off as Eagles dives to the floor onto the Bullet Club, and these Ospreay and Eagles have got the people rocking and loud to start. Ospreay is over like Rover here in England, guys, in his home country here in London. Ospreay and Eagles are going to bust out some fun double-team offense in this match. Nice fast-paced set early on. El Phantasmo was delightfully sleazy and he's as a heel, and he's actually quite smooth in the ring. This is one of my first times seeing him perform. I'm excited to see some more El Phantasmo. I think he's going to be a really good heel in the Cruiserweight junior division. Will Ospreay has gotten so good at the little things in pro wrestling, guys. He really looked like a star in this match. He's taking time in between his spots now to really milk reactions and to let things breathe. His little mannerisms, the way that he moves in between spots, what he's doing the little things that he does when he's not really doing anything, that's what makes somebody a big star in pro wrestling. Ospreay looks like a big star now. Even in the last year, he's made a giant improvement in his overall game. All 4 guys do a great job of grabbing onto the people and holding them the entire match here. There's a nice little Bullet Club tag team tandem spot where Phantasmo has got Ishimori up in an electric chair, and he's going to throw him off in an electric chair drop, if you will. And as he does so, Ishimori is going to catch Eagles on the way down with a lung blower or code breaker. It looked more like a lung blower. Except instead of releasing the move as they hit the mat, he's going to stay on his back, hold Eagles over his knees in that lung blower position, and Phantasmo is going to come off of the top rope with a best moonsault ever, a BME, across the back of Robbie Eagles. That's going to get a near fall. That's only going to get 2. That could be a tag team finish, guys. Nice near fall spot. Robbie Eagles and Will Ospreay finish Taiji Ishimori with a top rope double Spanish fly. That's the old SATs, the Spanish announce team, early days of TNA. Anybody remember them? What happened to those guys? They hit, anyway, Ospreay and Eagles hit a big top rope Spanish fly. That's all she wrote, guys. Fun tag team match, nice pace set. They kept the people the whole way through. Ospreay looked like a star. I'm really impressed with how much he's improved lately. He's really upped his game. He's even got his body in shape now, into a lot better shape than it was last year, even a couple years ago. Will Ospreay's up there with some of the best performers in the industry today. We're going to go 3 stars, another excellent tag match on the undercard here at Royal Quest. Rolling. Keep those matches rolling. We're going to keep the puroresu going right along today, because next up, match number 4 on New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest, Tetsuya Naito and Sonata are going to team up to take on another Bullet Club team. It's Jay White, Switchblade Jay White, that knife pervert, and Chase Owens, guys. The crown jewel, right? Okay. Sonata, guys, actually gets a pretty big pop here, and Sonata is an awesome worker. He's actually kind of underrated, I think. And then the people get even louder when Naito comes out here. You've got loud, loud Naito chants ringing through the building, through the copper box. I just have to stop for a second. Is it just me or does Chase Owens, especially here, he looks like a fat, pastier dollar store knockoff version of Sami Zayn. Like from really far away if you kind of squint too hard. Anybody? Anybody agree with me? Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me, guys. Naito really got me laughing here. He's really, really milking the way that he unzips his entrance attire pants here. He's teasing it as he's going to unzip them, and the crowd is buying into it, playing along, having a lot of fun. They're going, oh, as Naito's teasing, unzipping his pants. This crowd at the Copper Box in London and the really extremely playful NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff crowd, these UK wrestling crowds, these are awesome crowds, guys. These are what help to make these shows so much more enjoyable. They're providing this unparalleled atmosphere, and that's a lot of what makes pro wrestling so great. It are the crowds, right? And this crowd is no exception. They really help to elevate this show even more. It's a solid wrestling show already. The crowd really makes this thing a lot more fun. And this is not an obnoxious crowd. You don't have this crowd. This crowd's not a badly behaved crowd that's going to hijack the show with a lot of singing chants and things like that you've grown accustomed to. They're not going to really try to get themselves over. They're really just there to accentuate this awesome in-ring product that New Japan provides, guys. So they really do a lot to add to this show. One thing I really love about Sonata's work is his use of the Paradise Lock, and that's going to be a big part of this match here. They tease it. I love the way that he kind of teases it early. And it's going to come into play later on. He's going to keep teasing that thing throughout the match. Sonata ends up playing your Ricky Morton now. He's going to be your face in peril. He gets isolated by Jay White and Chase Owens. Naito and Jay White, they do end up in the ring together for an extended little sequence. And it's kind of just okay. It's sort of like what happened with, not to, obviously to the same degree, but it's kind of like what happened with Shawn Spears and Cody at All Out, where Shawn Spears took over on offense, and it's like the air just came out of the building. I almost feel like everything just kind of lost its momentum, and nobody really, I don't know if they really cared or if they really bought Jay White as a threat, but nobody kind of just... Jay White didn't get a whole lot of heat, and he didn't do a whole lot of anything when he's taking over on Naito here in this match. And I mean, I feel like this was supposed to be the showcase. You're going to showcase these guys because they're going to be in a feud. They already are in a rivalry right now. I just didn't do a whole lot for me. Sonata finally gets that Paradise Lock on Chase Owens. Crowd wakes back up a little bit finally. Things get a little awkward, though, because Jay White and Naito end up out on the floor, and they kind of have to stand there awkwardly on the floor. Jay White especially looks kind of out of place, while Sonata and Owens end up going into their finishing sequence, which that, too, seems like it takes a little bit too long for them to get into and to finish, basically. It seemed a little bit extended. They could have maybe trimmed a little bit off of that. Sonata and Owens go at it for a little bit. They're countering things. Sonata finally traps Owens in the skull end, swings him around the ring while holding on to the move, clamps down on it, and Owens is going to submit. That's it, guys. Sonata gets the submission victory with the skull end. This was absolutely perfectly acceptable wrestling. It's certainly not bad, but not great by any stretch of the words, any stretch of the imagination. Especially when you had the junior tag match right before this and the Cote Juice tag match against the Bullet Club there. Those matches were a little bit more fun to me. I felt like Jay White and Naito, when they touched, it just didn't seem like there was anything there for me. It pretty much just feels like a match. They did a match just to do an angle, because post-match, Jay White's going to grab a steel chair and he's going to attack Sonata with it and lay him out. Naito ain't having it, though. He's gonna take out Jay White with the Destino. And he's gonna score a visual pin as he pins Jay White, and the fans count along for the 1, 2, 3. Naito is gonna be tranquilo, y'all. Tranquilo. He's gonna be tranquilo, y'all. 2 3/4 of a star. Kind of expected a little bit more from these guys. Show is gonna keep rolling right along. Next up, it's the IWGP World Tag Team Title match. The Gorillas of Destiny, the GOD, that's Tama Tonga, Tongaloa. They're going to be with Jado. They're going to be defending those championship belts against Aussie Open, guys. We got a hot split crowd early on with dueling chants for both teams prior to the bell. And these chants are going to go on for a long time, very, very long time. You got a lot of heat in this one. Awesome. It helps make the match, set the stage for a good match. And, alright guys, I gotta admit, there's a little disconnect for me in this match. There's nothing absolutely wrong with this match at all. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because I saw so many tag matches already, but I felt like this match was just kind of bleh. Great heat throughout this thing. Aussie Open played their parts really well. They had a lot of fire, and they looked good as a team. The GOD are great heels. They've done a great job of trying to anchor the tag division since Anderson and Gallows have left, and some of the other the tag division's basically been gutted with the Young Bucks leaving as well. So overall, yeah, I felt like there was a lot of moves happening and just a disconnect where there was no really emotional story being told for me. Things are going to pick up at the end, though. Aussie Open is going to fire up, and I mean, this is a solid tag match. They did a good job of holding the crowd. The Gorillas of Destiny are going to get the win with a big super power bomb. The superplex into the power bomb off the top rope. Good tag team finish. It's a good match. Crowd was into it. Again, there's just somewhat of a disconnect with me. Yeah, just sort of didn't do anything for me. So, meh, we're going to go 2 3/4 of a star on this one. And then we're going to keep the show rolling right on, guys. One of my favorites, the Big Hoss himself, the Stone Pitbull, Tomorhiro Ishii. He's going to be defending the NEVER Openweight Championship next up against KENTA. Ishii gets a nice reaction. Early on, he is an awesome worker, guys. He deserves it. I absolutely love watching Ishii work. And on the flip side, KENTA has done kind of nothing for me since leaving WWE, really. And actually, not even WWE, since coming to WWE. KENTA hasn't done anything for me since he left Noah, really. He's had maybe a good match here or there on 205 Live, but he's fresh off of joining the Bullet Club, though, and he just recently turned on Katsuyori Shibata. So, yeah, he's firmly the heel, guys. You know, Shibata is really, really over, especially considering he's had to retire. He's a very beloved figure in New Japan, having to retire from head injuries suffered in a match with Okada and within the last couple of years. So, yeah, KENTA is over as a heel, and he's getting massive, massive, massive heel heat, guys. It's actually kind of, he's gotten more heat than anybody else, even more than Jay White so far on the show. KENTA is going to be a big heel for New Japan. This is a stiff match, typical of an Ishii outing. There's lots of stiff blows, lariats, all kinds of stuff like that. KENTA actually looks pretty good here, and he gets a lot of heat taking over on Ishii earlier on here. And then you guys probably heard about this, things get kind of scary. If you've heard about this match online, it's kind of infamous for not the right reasons. KENTA basically gets his bell rung here, and it's kind of hard to see where it really happens. It doesn't look like too severe of a bump, especially when these guys are stiffing the heck out of each other, and that stuff looks even worse. But KENTA gets concussed, basically. He gets his bell rung, and he's staggering and botching a few segments here, and he's got this really glazed look in his eyes. Yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable to watch this match. He tries to stagger through it, and Ishii, and then while he's trying to stagger through and finish, what is kind of uncomfortable is Ishii keeps throwing headbutts, and he's throwing these stiff forearms and these stiff slaps right to Kenta's face. Ugh, it's just kind of uncomfortable to watch. There's a nasty looking top rope double stomp here that Kenta busts out. That gets a near fall. And then they blow a suplex attempt, and Ishii almost looks like he gets bent in half by Kenta, and that's when Kevin Kelly finally notes on commentary that something might be wrong with Kenta. You know what? Kenta's concussed, and they're still going to go for a little bit here, guys. They even do the cross-legged sit-down spot. I think Shibata used to do this spot. You'd sit down cross-legged, and you and your opponent just start smacking the heck out of each other stiff. Very scary, and Kenta's eyes are rolling back in his head at this point. Ishii throws a lariat later on, and it almost is the end of the match because it looks like Kenta almost blows the finish and forgets to kick out. Very close there. Ishii hits a really nasty, stiff-looking brainbuster and tries to get the finish with it. The Gorillas of Destiny hit the ring. They're not having it. They run interference. Pull the ref right out of the ring, and we got a ref bump. They're going to hit the ring. Magic Killer connects on Ishii. Ref thrown back in. 1, 2. Ishii somehow survives. That near fall actually got me there. Good little near fall. Kenta then is going to throw a really, really stiff-looking heck of a haymaker shot that just reverberates through the copper box. That gets like 2.999. Finally, he hoists Ishii up. The go to sleep connects. 1, 2, 3, and we've got a brand new NEVER Openweight champion in Kenta. Technically, this was a good match. Kenta has a lot of heat on him right now. They've done a good job of getting Kenta over as a heel. But once Kenta gets concussed in this match and they blow a few things, it just really got a little uncomfortable to watch. I mean, when you have a match like this, maybe when guys are blowing stuff kind of back and forth. Bruce Pritchard talked about this on Something to Wrestle with sometimes with Conrad Thompson. They've talked about how sometimes when guys blow spots in a match or when things don't actually always come off looking pretty, that it can add to the match. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe that adds to the realism. If you enjoy that and you can see that, I guess maybe that depends on your frame of mind. I can't really go higher than 3.5 stars on this because of it. And even then, I sort of feel like I'm being a little bit too generous because of the injury in the match. I do have to remember, and everybody out there does need to remember, because New Japan's catching a lot of heat over this. New Japan is an entirely different beast, guys. I mean, this isn't really the sterilized, publicly traded company that WWE is here in the United States. I mean, WWE, you're going to see guys stop matches for a finger injury, like Sin Cara a few years ago with Alberto Del Rio. In New Japan, like, we just had Takahashi finish a match with a broken neck, what was that, last year? So, yeah, we do live, at the same time, we do live in modern times. Pro wrestling has evolved and changed a lot. It's just a difficult situation, guys. Alright, next up, guys, it's the Revolution Pro British Heavyweight Championship match. Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be defending his championship against the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi. The crowd is really into Zack Sabre Jr., and rightfully so. I dare say he gets a hero's welcome here. Tanahashi is Tanahashi. He's like treated like a wrestling god everywhere he goes. He gets the big hero's reaction too. The fans are just in heaven with these two guys squaring off. Tanahashi really has that Shawn Michaels factor, as I call it. And that's just this inherent smoothness in the ring to everything that he does, no matter how big or small. It's like you could try to mimic the way that he works, but nobody's going to be able to do it. There's only one Tanahashi. There's only one Shawn Michaels. It's just, I don't know what that fluidity is to their offense and even to the way that they sell, but I love it. And it's only certain guys have that. And it's so unique to just them as a performer too. Like Sean, only Sean can sell like Sean. Only Tanahashi can take a move or throw a move like the way that Tanahashi does, and I love that. Zack Sabre Jr. is such a great heel here, guys. He's really amping his heel game up a lot. He's mocking Tanahashi and just being an all-out cocky jerk. And the crowd is hot, hot, hot as they start with some smooth mat work here. And there's a neat little double neck bridge spot where both guys bridge back, cross their arms, and stare at each other with their legs. They're bridging, basically. It's a really cool visual, and it gets a nice, respectful round of applause from the fans. Zack Sabre Jr. really reminds me so much of a young William Regal. We're talking WCW era, Lord Steven Regal here. If he really continues to add to his villain repertoire and he keeps developing that heel persona that he's got, Zack Sabre Jr. might end up being an all-time great worker, guys. I'm saying it right here. It's not like that's a hot take or anything. I mean, I think that's a pretty strong consensus. Zack Sabre Jr. is the man right now. He's tearing it up, guys. Mat-based, old-school work is going down in this match, guys. I mean, it even goes as far as Tanahashi ends up paying early on because he tries to bust the high-fly flow out early on in the match, but he eats some pair of knees right to the midsection. And then he almost gets submitted because ZSJ traps him in a triangle choke. Tanahashi survives Zack's submission attempts for a lot of the match, and then he gets a really, really near fall. A hot near fall after a comeback on a Snapdragon. High fly flow connects on the second attempt, guys. And 1, 2, 3. Tanahashi is your brand new Revolution Pro British Heavyweight Champion, and he gets a big, big pop. Not much to say here. This is a solid, smooth match. These two, Tanahashi and Sabre Jr., tell their entire story in the ring between the ropes. They don't go out to the floor, not to the outside one time. It's really refreshing and neat to see. This really felt different from the rest of the card as well. Old school. This was an old school worked match. Hard work. Solid. And I actually kind of feel like these guys were just getting started, and I would have liked to see them maybe get another 10 minutes and kick it into another gear. It's kind of like one of those movies you're watching that right as it's picking up and you think, oh man, they're just now going to get into the third act, but you get end credits. I mean, it left you wanting more. I'm sure we're going to get more matches between these two, but I feel like they could have went another 10 minutes and it would have really turned into something really, really special. As it is, solid match, 3 3/4 of a star. I enjoyed this one, guys. And there's only one left. It's the richest prize in New Japan Pro Wrestling, one of the most prestigious titles in the entire industry, in the entire world. It's the IWGP World Heavyweight Title matchup as Kazuchika Okada is going to defend his title against Minoru Suzuki. The crowd is so passionate for New Japan Pro Wrestling when they travel to places like the shows they did in the US this year, or even whenever they come over to the UK. It really, really, really makes these shows special. Like I said, that unparalleled atmosphere that the fans provide. They've got a hunger for the New Japan product, and they've got a respect for the product. As a wrestling fan, it's really, really neat to see. Okada, guys, he gets another massive, massive big hero pop. He really feels like the big star that he is. But somehow, Minoru Suzuki ends up with maybe, I'd say, the coolest fan interaction moment of the night. Everybody sings along in the crowd, Kazniner! And it's loud, guys. This is billowing. It's the loudest reaction of the night. It almost gives me goosebumps when you see it on video. It's a cool little moment. We're gonna start this match off, guys. Good mat wrestling to start, and then basically Suzuki ends up frustrated, and he's daring Okada to slug it out with him. Okada's like, I'm cool with that. Boom. These guys end up forearming each other. Okada actually gets the better of Suzuki here, too. Suzuki's had enough. They end up out on the floor, and Suzuki finds a steel chair, and it's actually really funny because he keeps trying to use the chair, and Red Shoes, being the amazing ref he is, keeps trying to take the chair away from him. Suzuki's almost like a child at certain points of this thing, trying to keep the chair away from Red Shoes, taking it right into the ring. Red Shoes eventually gets the chair himself and basically clutches it like this, like a child holding on for dear life onto their stuffed animal. Funny stuff here, guys, and it's just a testament to the absolute talent and the range. I don't think we talk about the range of Minoru Suzuki enough as a performer. Not only is this guy, like in this match specifically, he's wearing a lot of different hats here, and he's pulling off all of his roles exceptionally. He's playing the veteran, grizzled, tough guy. He's an awesome pro wrestler because, you know, this guy has been doing it for 31 years now, and he doesn't miss a step hanging with Okada in there. He's hanging toe for toe with him. But then he's doing the comedic stuff with Red Shoes. He's interacting with the crowd. He's being a heel. Oh, Suzuki, man, what a round of applause for you. I really had a good time watching him, and he really elevated this match to something special here. So things break down. Suzuki works over Okada. He spends quite a bit of time selling well. And they tell a pretty good story with Suzuki continually roughing Okada up. But the champ manages to survive. The other thread to the story that you need to follow is that Suzuki keeps trying to apply the Gotch pile driver, and Okada, even though he gets beaten down, he manages to prevent this thing the entire match. Suzuki keeps trying to go for it, though. And Okada and Suzuki, they've got the people reeled in and worked up into a frenzy. Suzuki gets in Okada's face following the Rainmaker pose. After Okada makes his comeback, he goes for the Rainmaker pose. Suzuki's not having it. He gets right in Okada's face, and we're back to stiff forearms and slaps, and the fans are into it. The crowd is biting on every single little thing that they do. Okada even puts his hands behind his back, a la Minoru Suzuki himself right here. And it gets a big reaction. And it just makes Suzuki irate, and he beats Okada down into just a quivering mass on the mat. He goes for that Gotch again, the Gotch pile driver, and he still can't get it. He gets a lot closer this time. He almost gets him up, but Okada starts kicking the feet and gets out of it. And the fans, guys, the fans at this point are chanting, "This is awesome. This is awesome." And like an onion, you know, Suzuki and Okada are just peeling the layers away on this story here. The intensity's revving up as the thing goes on. This really is an awesome match. Okada fires back and gets his stuff in, including the drop kick. He puts Suzuki in his own rear naked choke. And this actually gets a huge amount of heat from the fans, guys. Lots of boos. They're actually loving Minoru Suzuki, and it's probably just because he's so dang entertaining, and he really is awesome in this match. So Suzuki has to fight to get his own rear naked choke on, and he almost chokes Okada out. The people are split and fired up, guys. Okada somehow counters out. He hits a Rainmaker. Both men are down, but Okada's got wrist control, that all-important wrist control. Who knew wrist control would be so important in pro wrestling? Okada maintains wrist control as both men are on the mat. They make their way back up to their feet. He goes for a second Rainmaker. It connects, guys. Okada's not done yet, though. He goes for a third Rainmaker. Suzuki manages to block this one. Starts firing up with a flurry of strikes. Takes Okada back down. Goes for the gotcha again. Okada knows to avoid that gotcha pile driver. He can't get it on. Okada gets a drop kick to the back of the head this time. Then he whips Suzuki into the ropes. He hits a huge elevated drop kick. He goes for a third Rainmaker yet again. Third Rainmaker attempt. That's blocked. Another gotcha attempt is blocked. Okada gets out of that. Boom! Tombstone finally connects. Third Rainmaker finally connects. That's it. 1, 2, 3. What a match, guys. What a match. I absolutely love the intricate finishing sequence here. Playing off that story these guys started early on with Suzuki trying that gotch pile driver, but Okada just surviving every little thing that he gets thrown at him. Suzuki was absolutely stellar here, guys. Absolutely awesome performance. Like I said, that finishing sequence, the intricate finishing sequence, that extended one, they just kept adding on to it and adding on to it and adding on to it, countering and countering and countering. What a great story. What a great match. Okada is so good himself, guys. This is up there with the best matches of all weekend, the weekend of August 31st. 4 1/4 star. Stellar match, guys. Alright, guys, so what is the bottom line on New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest? I mean, it's got to be a thumbs up, right? I mean, you had awesome atmosphere throughout the whole show thanks to this incredible, respectful crowd. They were up and into it almost the entire night through. They popped for the people they should have popped for. There was heat where it should have been heat, and they really hated Kenta, by the way. This was a great wrestling show, not a bad match amongst the bunch. Like I said, the tag team title match might have been my only down point in the show, and even that wasn't bad. That was a really well worked match. That was the only place there was somewhat of a disconnect with me on the show. Go out of your way to check out Suzuki and Okada. It's one of the best matches of the weekend. Awesome finishing sequence, and Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tanahashi is a really great match in itself. Good show, guys. Awesome show, and we're just looking forward to more from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Stay tuned right here on JtoZ TV. Right here on JtoZ TV Pro Wrestling Breakdown for more pro wrestling action. And hey, if you like what you saw and you want to become a member of the JtoZ universe, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button right now. Let us know you did enjoy the video. It helps us out. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button to make sure that you don't miss another video here from JtoZ TV. We're creating content all the time, guys. We're providing you with energetic, fun, family-friendly content. That's what we're here to do, and that's what we're going to keep doing. Until next time, till we get to another pro wrestling breakdown here in the Pro Wrestling Control Center, this is JtoZ TV Dad, Derek, saying I'll catch you guys down that aisle between those ropes next time. Thanks for watching.